If you like this video, why not subscribe? Hey everybody, good Monday morning. It's the Frugal Filmmaker Q&A, the show where I attempt to answer your questions to the best of my ability, hopefully help you along the way. If you would like to have your question read on this show, please email me at thefrugalfilmmaker@gmail.com, or you can leave a comment below down below this video, but your best bet is to email me and I will try to answer you personally as well as on the show if I find that I can answer your question. The first question comes from Bill Weisborn. He says, love your channel, don't mind you doing the Q&A from the house, but I have to ask, what is that poster in the background? And Bill's referring to this poster right here. These are Storytime People posters, and basically they're some kind of quirky artwork with kind of an interesting phrase written on them. I've got several around the house here that my wife has put up. This one says, if I love you with all my heart, she said, what will you give me? And then she stopped and said I didn't have to answer that because she was going to do it anyway. So they all have the kind of interesting, kind of poetic sayings on them, as well as some interesting artwork. And that's what that is, Bill, so thanks for asking. The next question we have is from Rick Browder, who says, I really enjoy your channel. What are your thoughts about film school? Any positives or negatives based on your experiences will be appreciated. Thanks. Well, as some of you may or may not know, I recently graduated from film school with my master's in fine arts. That allows me to teach at a university. So what was my experience like, and it's kind of a question that's been debated on the internet. It probably never will stop being debated. Should I go to film school if I want to be a filmmaker, or should I not go to film school if I want to be a filmmaker? And definitely different situations apply to different people. I don't think there's any cut and dry answer. My experience is that one thing definitely that film school affords you is that you will have access to not only an education about how to make movies and about film theory and why movies were made and the history of film and that kind of thing, but you'll also have access to equipment that you might normally not have access to unless you're renting. So if you want to make your film, you have access to all that stuff. That's what part of your tuition goes to. So that's definitely an advantage. Plus, you'll learn, it is an educational institution, so you'll learn stuff not only about film production, which you do learn, but also about history and everything that goes along with film. Another valuable resource you'll have in film school is networking. And I'm not just talking about if you go to USC or UCLA or NYU, where you have these big film schools and networking among actual industry professionals, which is really cool. But there are lots of film schools that don't have access to that kind of talent. But you will still hook up with a lot of people that love to make movies. In fact, one of the complaints I often get, people write me and say, how do I find a cast and crew? I can't find anybody that wants to make movies with me, and no one's as serious as I am. And so an answer to that, one of them is you go to film school, you'll find lots of people that not only want to act in front of the camera, but want to help you make the movie behind the camera. And it's a great time to find those people, and you'll develop relationships there that you'll have for a long, long time, especially if you kind of stay in that same area. And then you'll be able to make movies outside of school rather easily, because you'll have access to all these different people that want to do these various jobs or that are good at them because they've learned in film school and have experience. And so that's really good. So all those things are very positive experiences, and my personal experience has been positive. Plus, if you want to, I'm a little bit older, so if you want to go into a teaching job, you'll need a master's in fine arts at least, and that's something film school affords you. Now, the downsides, of course, are that it's expensive. You have to pay money to go to school, and if you have to take government loans like I did, that debt can add up rather quickly, and you'll come out of school with a large debt. And so that's something that I have to deal with now. Plus, you can also get a lot of film production knowledge working on an actual film set or making the movies yourselves. I was kind of self-educated before I went to film school, and I realized that even though I was self-taught and knew a lot of stuff already, there was a lot of things that I didn't know that I learned when I did go to film school. That was an important lesson for me. I mean, I don't think I was smug or didn't think I could be taught or anything, but I thought I knew a lot, and I discovered that, hey, there's other people that know a lot of stuff that teach that I could learn from, and I definitely did. Learned a lot about writing, learned a lot about how a film set should actually be run, and now I know all that, and I can apply that to the films I'm going to make, whether they're industry level or not. And most of mine probably won't be. They'll probably be more smaller scale, micro budget stuff, which is fine with me. But you can learn a lot of great things through experience, and if you can get on a professional film set, you will learn a ton of stuff. Most definitely. I've never had any professional experience on a film set other than being an extra. I've been an extra on several professional films, and it was very enlightening, very interesting. You can learn a lot that way, definitely, and you'll actually be able to potentially earn money doing that versus losing money for spending it on film school. But again, different situations for different people. Whatever works best for you, whatever you can do to best develop yourself as a filmmaker. Of course, you can also just make your own movies and keep doing that and be self-taught, and that's a great way to learn as well. So I don't think there's any one correct answer here because it all depends on your situation and what you have access to. More people have access to film school than they will professional film sets. Like I said, it depends on what part of the country or world you live in. So just look at your situation, see what you can afford. I don't think film school is a waste of money. A lot of people seem to be saying that on the internet, and I don't believe that at all, because there are a lot of things you can take advantage of film school. You just have to be able to be prepared, to either pay it as you go or pay it off afterwards, which could take years, decades. That's just part of getting an education. One thing a degree definitely offers too is if that you don't decide to pursue filmmaking after you get your degree, you can always use your degree to get a better job doing something else. That degree will actually mean something in the workplace, where if you decide to pursue film and you work on film sets and develop all these skills and then decide to change your mind later, well, then you really don't have anything to fall back on either. So again, it's you just have to feel out the situation for yourself and decide what works best for you. You do have to make a decision somehow, though. Just thinking that you want to be a filmmaker and not doing anything about it is the worst thing you can do. So either take one route or the other. Film school, yes or no. But if you're not going to go to film school, get on a film set, make movies, do something. Because if you don't, talking about it isn't going to accomplish anything. All right, we have another email from Lataki Film. That's Corey Lataki. Hope I'm pronouncing your name right. He talks about him wanting to make videos, and he says, I want to post the videos on YouTube and generate local traffic, but I don't want to have ads all over my video in order to make money. Do you have any advice on how to do this without all the ads? I see you do a lot of reviews on different products. You have an affiliate program that you use. So he's basically asking me how I'm making money off YouTube, and I'm more than willing to share this information because it could be useful. Now, as far as probably how I make the most money is off of YouTube, as far as, you see ads on my videos, and I've monetized it to the best of my ability through Google. They own YouTube, and you get a Google AdSense account. You can link that to your YouTube videos and then activate the Google AdSense. The ads will be placed at the beginning of your video, or a little banner ad on the bottom, a banner ad in the corner of your page, whatever. And that's how I make the most of my money. And it's a simple formula there. The more views you get, the more money you'll make. But there are other ways you can make money off of YouTube. Although I will say that all of this that I'm about to tell you is based on developing your audience, building an audience. If you do not have an audience to leverage or to get to purchase things through you or whatever, this is going to be very difficult. The larger your audience is, the more people that watch your stuff and come in contact with your webpage or Twitter feed or whatever, that's going to be critical. For me, what I do is not only am I making money off views that are coming to my videos, but I'm also an Amazon affiliate. So if I do a review of something, I will post a link below to that something in the description or on my blog or whatever, so that when people go through that link to buy something, it's got my ID in it, and then I'll get a percentage of that purchase. And I don't tend to promote this very much just because I don't really want people to think, well, the only reason I'm doing this is so that I can make money, because that's not true. However, if I can make a little percentage, I appreciate it, and it helps me to keep the channel going and for me to do all this stuff to be self-sufficient. I'm also an eBay partner, so if I post things from eBay, there's also a link with an ID in it that I will post that you can go through. Hopefully people will go through those links and purchase things, and then I get a percentage. Those are really the main ways in which I'm making money, is AdSense ads on the videos, and then Amazon affiliation, and being an eBay partner. So as far as your situation here, Corey, I know you're talking about doing things on a local level. If that's just the case, then you are going to be dependent on getting eyeballs to watching your videos, and you're going to have to monetize them somehow, and going through Google AdSense is a way to do that. Now, I don't think it's a bad way. Your letter seems to indicate there's some kind of a stigma in that, oh, I don't want ads all over my stuff because people won't like that. But the reality is everyone's used to these ads by now. So there's nothing wrong, and I don't think anybody's going to think you're evil for putting ads on your videos. They'll realize, I think everybody realizes when they see those ads that YouTube content creators are getting something for those ads, so they don't necessarily mind as much. Plus, we're all used to television. and even the internet. We know there's ads on stuff, and it's not a big deal. I don't think anybody freaks out when they see ads. They might find them annoying, but you can close them or skip them most of the time, and so it's not too big of a problem. All right, Alex Reyes says, hello Scott, I was wondering if you have any setups for a car scene to where the cameras are stable enough to withstand an imitation car crash, or just for two people talking in a car. Now, Alex, I did make a video about this a while ago when I did the suction cup camera mount. That's where I took one of those glass carrying suction cups. It's like a handle with two suction cups on the end, and the handle would affix to like the hood of a car or a windshield of a car, and you could clamp a camera mount onto that. I'll send you that video, or actually there'll be a link below or in the annotation right now. You can go see that video. And that's a little different to what you're talking about. I don't know about it being able to withstand an imitation car crash. I guess it would depend on how much you're going to jostle the car, if you're making a mock car body. But it still should be able to stay put. In fact, my version has a safety strap on it that runs through the handle, so it should be okay. There's also another DIY car mount that maybe I think I should do my own version of, but it's sort of like what car hops used to put on the sides of cars, and they would serve people. They would, hook it onto the windshield or the side window, the driver's side window with a tray. That's where your food would be. That's another way you can do a camera mount. Just create a platform that'll sit right outside the window of your car, and that's where you can mount your camera to. And I think I'm going to do a DIY version of that because I've seen one. There's actually one at this film school that I went to that was homemade that a lot of people use, and it seems to work pretty well. So there are different things you can do. Again, you can reference that video of suction cup camera mount. All right, Lee Schulman writes and says, in watching your video on the $37 follow focus, you had mentioned that there is some play when turning the knob. I was wondering, since there's no electrical components, if you could take it apart and stuff it with petroleum jelly / Vaseline. That may help with the excessive play issue. Thoughts? And do you have any more short films in the works? Well, the first question, Lee, can be easily answered. Yes, there was some little play or slop, as I called it, in the follow focus knob for that really inexpensive follow focus. And I did find out, I had a blog post about this, that if I just tightened up the gearbox, the screws that connected the gearbox together, that the play would be lessened. It was actually a lot more firm, a lot more stable. And so that problem was essentially solved by doing that. And I'll leave a link below in the description to that blog post. It tells you how to do that. As far as the next question, what's the question? Do I have any more short films in the works? Well, I always have a short film in the works somewhere along the line. But as far as specifics, I've been working on trying to work out a horror short that I've wanted to make. Just another short film, 5 minutes long, something like that, a 2-day shoot that I'm working on. I've got kind of just some basic ideas, but I don't even have a script yet. However, the only thing that's concrete about it is I wanted to work again with Rachel Van Hampton, who played Rissa in Collection Day. And we've talked about it a little bit, and she's excited about doing it. I want to work with her again. Other than that, basically my only projects are kind of expanding on things I've previously made. There's been talk about doing a Collection Day web series to kind of tie up that story, which would be like 6-10-minute episodes. And then I've also wanted to do Invader, turn that into kind of a periodic web series, that short that you saw before that was 5 minutes. Take that same character and create 5-minute episodes that I release, like 3 or 4 of them in a year, something like that. Because I kind of like that character in that world that it just kind of hinted at a little bit, to flesh that out a little bit more, kind of give her a different location each time, because there's lots of abandoned places we could go to that would be cool and post-apocalyptic. So those are the 3 things that are under development right now. The next one you'll probably see is the horror short. This next question comes from Daryl Troth, who asks about the Frugal Crane. He says, there are many different models of tripods, even in the Manfrotto brand. Is there a plate that can work with any good tripod head, or would a metal plate be able to be mounted to the head? And I think he's asking if there's like a universal plate that he could use to make the crane that would work in any tripod. And for that specific one, for the Frugal Crane 2.0, which was the last version, that's specifically made around the 501 head, or the plate that went in there. Although you could put any plate in there as long as the tripod is heavy duty. However, I'm working on one, or the one that you saw featured in Invader. If you saw the making of Invader, you saw some pictures of me with a crane that was kind of the 3.0 version of the Frugal Crane. And that one is made to really work better with any tripod. It's not as heavy, and you can put any quick release plate on the bottom. And the bearing mechanism, or the tilt mechanism, was independent of the tripod itself. Where in the older versions it was kind of dependent. You had to tilt the tripod head fully downwards so that the quick release plate was vertical, and then the crane would pivot on that vertical mount. And you kind of had to have a bigger setup for that, or a more durable setup. Those things had to be metal. And with this newer version, everything's lighter, and it doesn't depend on the tripod to withstand the full weight of everything, at least not in that fully tilted position. It's kind of hard to explain a little bit, but hopefully I'll be able to release the 3.0 version soon. I've really been kind of reluctant because it didn't turn out quite as well as I wanted. It does work, but you have to kind of operate the crane from in front of the tripod, because if you run it from in back, the whole thing kind of wobbles if you try and run it from the very rear, because it's sort of a more flexible system. It's made to be set up and taken down quickly, so it's built around an extendable painter's pole. You can extend out really quickly and then reduce back. So setup time is like 5-10 minutes versus 20 to 30 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes that the old one was. So and it costs more money than the old version to make, so I don't know. I've been kind of kicking around whether I even want to put this one out. But it worked for me, and if you're taller like me, you can run it from the front of the tripod instead of the back, but not everyone is going to be 6'7", so it might not work for everyone as well. But all right, so that's all the questions for this week. Remember, if you have a question, you can ask me at thefrugalfilmmaker@gmail.com, and I will do my best to answer it, or you can leave a comment below in this video. Remember, you can find all the Frugal Filmmaker content you want at the blog, which is thefrugalfilmmaker.com. There's also Twitter, where I'm Frugal Filmmaker, and then there's the Facebook group, which is very active. And if you have a question or you want to contribute, you can go to that group, which is not a fan page, it's a group, so it's open up to anybody to be a member of and to contribute. You can just go there. So that's it. Thank you for watching very much. I appreciate all of your questions. And there's another video coming up this week, which is going to be a review of the Fotodiox ND Throttle. That's an adapter / variable ND that you mount to the back of your lens on your interchangeable lens camera that goes right to your camera. So I'm kind of excited to tell you about that. It's pretty cool. So that will be Thursday, hopefully, and then this show will be back on Monday. So we'll see you then.